Why does God let bad things happen? Newsflash, he doesn't. Or it doesn't, or she doesn't, or... I'm Tom, your friendly neighborhood atheist. And people ask the question, why, if there is a God, does God let bad things happen? Well, there is no God to let bad things happen. Bad things just happen. Earthquakes. God does not allow earthquakes to happen. Plate tectonics causes earthquakes to happen, as well as tsunamis and things of the like. Why does God let people starve to death? Well, people starve to death because there's a lack of food. And what causes a lack of food? Typically a run of bad weather causes crops to fail, which causes a lack of food, which causes people to starve. God's got nothing to do with it. Why does God let people die in plane crashes? Planes have mechanical failures and crash. Nothing to do with God. Though you get some asshole that says, oh, God spared me, spared my life. Everyone else on the plane died, but God spared me. That's an asshole who would say that. That is a horrible, horrible person who would say, God spared me and killed everyone else. It's sickening that somebody would think that. God let everyone else die, but he spared me because I'm special. Ugh. Why does God let bad people exist? Why does God let serial killers go out and kill people? Well, it's mental illness. Mental illness causes people to do crazy things like kill other people. God's got nothing to do with it. God has nothing to do with bad things happening. Evil has nothing to do with bad things happening. Bad things just happen. When a dog attacks a baby and kills it, it's not because of evil, it's not because of God, it's not because of anything. It's just dogs are instinctual animals, and for whatever reason they lose their minds and might kill a baby. It has nothing to do with anything other than a bad thing happened. That's it. Bad things just happen. God does not let bad things happening because there is no reason to think there is a God that has anything to do with anything, especially not bad things. A fire breaks out. It's a bad thing. God didn't have a plan for the fire. People die. God did not have a plan for people dying. I know a lot of people want to believe that. They really want to have an explanation for why bad things happen. And God's mighty plan is a mighty comforting idea that brings them some amount of relief for explaining why bad things happen. But it explains nothing. Bad things just happen. There doesn't need to be a plan. There doesn't need to be a reason. Bad things happen. Saying God's got a plan, it may make you feel better, but it doesn't tell you anything. Because, really, why would God want bad things to happen? Why would God want people to starve? Why would God want somebody to go out and shoot a bunch of people? Why would God cause an earthquake? Why would God cause a tsunami? The flooding that we had with Katrina in New Orleans was flooded. A lot of people died. And it's because all those sinners down in the French Quarter. Well, the French Quarter, the most sinful place, is the one place that survived, more or less, God's wrath. It's funny how often God's wrath falls upon the people that believe in God and leaves, the presumed sinners. Now, the Bible doesn't tell stories like that because the Bible is selling a story. But reality very rarely fits the pattern of God actually getting the people that deserve it. Except for AIDS. A lot of people like to say AIDS is God's wrath on the homosexuals. And that is a really sickening thing to say. And people who would say that are evil, in my opinion. It has nothing to do with actual evil, but they are just sick, disturbed people that would say something like that. Anyways, why does God let bad things happen? He doesn't. There's no God. Bad things just happen. And I feel much better with that realization. I feel much better knowing that there is no plan, that there is no grand scheme, that there is no God causing bad things to happen because of, he's got a plan for you. Why'd the baby die? God's got a plan for the baby. That's really just weird and creepy that people think that. Anyways, I'm Tom, your friendly neighborhood atheist, and don't worry about God making bad things happening, because there's no reason to think that there is a God, much less it having reasons for having bad things happening. So get over it.